It's not a debate. It's not a tit for tat. It's not a blame game. But in episode of 174, making the case, we talking about, is it men won't commit or women won't submit? Let's get into it. Hey, what up, YouTube? We back again with another episode of Making Your Case. I am your host, Dr. Jacob Isom. We have two channel norms over here. One, we attack points and not people. Then two, we're gonna do all that cussing and derogatory stuff because we like to keep it professional over here. Of course, you know, I already got another great episode for you today. We're talking about, is it that men won't commit or women won't submit? You know, which I think is a fabulous topic in today's dating climate, right? Because and I believe I already did a video focusing on men and commitment. Matter of fact, I know I did, because to be honest with you, I thought that was a pretty good episode, if I do say so for myself. Uh, but um, but now I kind of want to focus on kind of which one do we think it is, or is it like a seesaw effect? You know, so I just want to have the conversation, right? Because we already know women, majority of women will probably say men are just not committing. Well, at the same time, there is something in the air about, you know, women not submitting to men. And we could take it from a religious context, right? Now, but if we take it from the religious context, then there's a strong case to be made that, you know, women are supposed to submit to men's will just based on the hierarchy and the order, right? God, man, woman, child, right? Just off that, off rip. But we're not even gonna go down that road, right? But there is a conversation from women saying that, well, if a man is not making enough money, she won't submit. If he's not doing this, she won't. If he's not a leader, she won't. So there's a conversation around that. So I just want to bring them both together and talk about, you know, is it a little bit of both? Which more than likely we probably can make that case, right? Um, so I have a couple of clips. So I thought it would be better to, you know, hear different perspectives in this episode and for us just to have a conversation, right? So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the first clip, shall we?
Want to be a doormat. I get so triggered off of submissive. Why does it have to be like a hierarchy? Why do they feel like in marriage, men is superior over women? They're trying to promote to women like, be cooperative, be soft. It's getting you walked over. It's getting you played.
Okay, so I think a challenge to that then. So it's like, whose fault is that though? You are being walked over like a doormat, like you said. That's more of a you thing.
It's a you thing,
right?
I think it's a you thing.
Yeah. Why are we attributing that to being feminine? Like, you want me to be this? No, we're not saying that, but your interpretation of feminine is that you see it as being weak. You see submission as weak, and I think that's what we need to tap into. Why is that the negative perspective?
You should not want
to. I'm glad that she was there to talk some sense into her, right? Because the problem is, particularly with Black women, I just have to be honest, right? Is that a lot of Black women think that being submissive means weakness, right? When women naturally submit anyway, right? Men are naturally stronger than women, right? So women by nature are going to submit, right? By nature, they want a leader, right? By nature, they want to be docile and say, hey, can you open this for me? And things of that nature, right? And that's just natural. Okay. So why so many women are pushing the narrative of submission being weakness or pushing against the natural order of things, I don't know, but that is problem. It's a mentality, right? And most real men, right? Most men want to take care of their woman. They don't want to walk over them, right? They want to take care of it because they do understand that they are the weaker sex. And I'm talking about physically, right? We are meant to provide and protect. That is our role in our job. And women, real women, and I hate to even say real men, real women, but women who understand this, they find themselves in better positions, and they find themselves being very well protected by the men that surround them. All right. That's just one clip. Let's get into the next one.
Women more comfortable with submitting to an institution like a job, a corporate, a boss, over submission to a man. Their livelihood. They understand they have to work for something. And they understand that in order for them to continue being a strong, independent woman, they're going to have to concede. Otherwise, they're going to be a strong ass, broke, independent woman. They understand that there are rules and regulations. See, relationships are a lot more abstract when it comes to women because they believe their feelings should be valued. Jobs don't tell you, hey, we value your input. Job tell you, do this fucking work. Get this shit done or you fired. You don't make no money. When you're dealing with a man, you can have an input. You have a say so. You have a, I don't like what you did. I don't like that. She can't say that on the job. She can say that to a man though. And that's why I say you can listen to your boss because he pays you, but you're not willing to listen to your man, but he pays you in affection. He pays you in attention. He pays you in love. So if you want those things and you want to continue to get those things, then why wouldn't you see it as absolutely valuable and necessary to be willing to submit? Why are women more comfortable with
absolutely, and I mess with Q Pill. He absolutely on the money with it, right? And we've had these conversations before. When I say we, I'm not meaning on this channel, but and if you want to call it the manosphere or the YouTube community or what have you, about women being willing to submit to men at their job, right? Listen to them. But then when they get home, they give their man they in a relationship with, they give them pushback, right? It really doesn't make sense, but it makes sense in this sense, right? That, well, they're doing it because that's how they pay their bills, right? That they feel like they don't need no man because they can go and see women know how to submit, right? It's what they want to submit to because it is all about control and power, right? Ever since all the waves of feminism, right, it came, but it's more and more about control and power. I want to be able to do what I want to do. So that's why you hear women saying they're strong and independent. I don't need your money, right? And so this is the world and culture that has been created. So that's why submission is such an evil thing, and they believe that submission is weakness because it's like, I don't want to be underneath you no more. I heard about what was happening to women prior to World War One. I don't want to be in that position no more. So this is the nature of what we fighting with modern women. Right now, there's still some traditional women out there. Don't get me wrong, but it's slim pickings, fellas. I'm just here to be honest with you. All right. I got a couple more clips. Now we're about to go into when it comes to men, settling down. Let's get into it.
I'm about to tell you is about to change some of y'all life. Now listen. Men don't view committed relationship. Men don't think about the picket fence. They don't get with you and think about, how many kids y'all gonna have together. That ain't, or what y'all gonna be doing, going to the Maldives. They don't think about that. See, I always tell women, commitment slaps a man in the face. It blindsides him. Now, what I mean by that, a man commits to you because of the way you make him feel. Now get this. See, men, this is why I tell women, stay in the present. Don't get in the future, thinking about the future. A man bases him wanting to be with you on how you make him feel when he is with you. Okay? So what I'm about to tell you
I will say this. I agree slightly. I disagree because men don't base off their long-term future with you based off their feelings. So he's incorrect on that one. We base our future with you. Does it line up? Are we aligned? Does it make sense? When it comes to assets and liabilities, are you an asset or are you a liability? It's just that simple. How many kids you have, if you have any, what kind of debt you have, are you in school? Do you consider yourself a feminine woman? Like, we add all these things up. and we put them in the column, right? Asset, liability. And we look at that list. We're very logical when it comes to looking at a woman as a long-term solution. Right now, does feeling come into it when we start talking about, okay, yes, I want to be able to be myself and be comfortable and be vulnerable and stuff like that around this woman? Absolutely. But that's not what we lead with, right? That gonna take a back seat to all the things that we're looking at because we are the protector and provider. So it has to make sense. It's who I'm protecting and providing for. Are they going to make it easier for me to protect and provide? Or are they just going to be a loose wire, loose cannon, and they're going to be like, well, I'm going to do what I want to do? Okay. I got one more clip, and then we're going to wrap this on up.
Behaving in this boyfriend-girlfriend way, and I'm doing all these things for him, why can't he make me his girlfriend? We're pretty much acting like that. Well, because the key is when a man does not want to commit, it's two things he's trying to avoid. He's trying to avoid obligation, and he's trying to avoid eliminating all his other options. Plain and simple. So full commitment and obligation. So obligation is more so, well, now as your boyfriend, he has to step up to the plate more. Like I always give the example of like, if he's not your man and you need a favor, there's a little bit more leeway when it comes to what he chooses to do in that situation. When he's your man, there's more of an expectation of you got to help your girl out. Like that's your woman. If we're behaving in this boyfriend-girlfriend way, and I'm doing all these things for him, why can't he make me his girlfriend? We're pretty much acting like that. Well, because the key is...
And he's absolutely correct. The two things is obligation and now, well, I'm cutting off all my options, right? Because at the end of the day, it is about options, right? Not saying that some of those options won't still be there, even if you commit, but they're not supposed to, okay? But the obligation part is probably the most important because it's like now, okay, there are expectations tied to it. Now I feel like I have to because if I'm claiming you as my woman, then yes, I am going to protect and provide for you, and I'm going to take that very seriously. Now, do all men think like that? No, but the majority of men who actually take a woman seriously and take their role seriously, absolutely they do. So these are the two main reasons I would say. And I think in a previous video when I talked about commitment, we kind of focused on one main one. Make sure you go back and check that episode out. I think it's episode 171. Don't get me wrong, but go check it out. All right. All right, so I'm going to leave it up to you. I showed you a couple of videos about submission. I showed you a couple of videos about commitment. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. Do you think it's more so about women not submitting or more so about men not committing? Okay. Hey, I'm curious to see what you say. But you know, I appreciate you rocking with me, man. Hey, like the video, share it, man. Let's get it out there. Let's have a conversation. But as always, I'm you, you are me. Love always, love eternal. Remember, the worst thing you can do is lie to yourself. And we out. Deuces. One love.